PureKITchat, a KIT-facing vibe-coded gamified semantic communication system for multilingual campus collaboration. This is a final term presentation by Onyedika Chukwutochukwu, student ID 2025-210145, IT Computers Engineering Department, Kumo National Institute of Technology, Gumi, Korea. It is for the course Industrial IoT Systems for Smart Factories, and today's date is June 19, 2026. The team of evaluation credits is for the Fixed-It framework. We start with the system architecture analysis. We're going to have the title, the contents, the background, problem statement, purpose and contribution, overview of the proposed method, details of the PureKITchat model, the numerical results, and we're going to have analysis and limits, conclusion and future works and acknowledgement. With the background, we'll start with tracing the architectural ancestry of PureKITchat. The first one is Pure Versation, which is PureV. It's a multi-modular architecture, which is an upgrade of the previous system, and its focus was on inter-English dialect translations to mitigate Anglocentric bias. The next is the Pure Bilingual, which is Pure Bi. The focus was the translation between English and Korean, then Korean Saturi, like Jeju, Jola, Seoul, and the rest of them. And the goal was to combat weird bias and, of course, standardization bias. And the next one was the Pure Polyglot, which is Pure Poly, which actually started from the research for PureKITchat. It's an extension of PureKITchat, and its focus is multi-dialectal, multilingual, multi-agent system, and the goal is broad language scaling. For the PureKITchat, the focus is applied campus-focused interface only. Then the AI native catalyst says that sociolinguistics must be a first-class design object. AI ran semantic communication shifts focus from raw bit transmission to meaning. My core research area is cognitive sociolinguistics with collaborative computing. Then for problem statements, standard translations actually convert standard pairs but drops back pragmatic intent and tone. For example, when we have people in the lab messaging the admin types in Korean, and then there's a Papago or Google translation, which is poor. It reduces intent and tone. And it also fails on Saturi, Korean Saturi, African American vernacular English, American English, Nigerian English, and even code switching. And it's not designed as an auditable human-in-the-loop pipeline. But for PureKITchat, the reality is that it captures deep sociolinguistic intent, and then it also translates culturally grounded context, and then it generates peer-reviewed dialect data. We cannot fix human language with synthetic hallucinations. And for passive auditing in 2024, we had focus on diagnosis, not cure. The measures for word error rates, postmortem on fixed corpora. So it's not while the translation is going on, it's after the translation is concluded. And then it offers zero live remediation. So the next one was a synthetic generation in 2025. It attempts to solve data scarcity by generating synthetic code switching samples, but it's got a fatal flaw because it hallucinates cultural pragmatics that do not exist in the real world. Then there was Pure Versation 2026, was the paper that I submitted to Nature Machine Intelligence, and ideally 92% semantic drift reduction. It was a good system, but it was only focused on intra-English dialect translation. So the bottom line is treating high variance dialects as noise to be normalized destroys the legitimate target for the communication. Purpose and contribution is that we are reframing translation as community infrastructure, especially for English dialects or languages that are not popular. So there's a campus front end, which is lean and inclusive. We have Polyglot Chat, we've got Convo Bridge, we've got Pure HomeCom. Those are the three games, crowdsourcing games, and interaction games. There's a backdoor admin, but we have a pure KitChat mirror that mirrors the admin so that when students or people who are part of the project go into audit, they don't edit the code or destabilize the system. And it also reduces heavy backend cloud or semantic relay. It is not a global replacement, it's just an auditable interaction layer, turning campus chat into a bias-aware communication. For the overview of the proposed methods, we first of all use the fix-it iteration cycle for vibe coding. For F, we focused on the problem, so we scoped down everything to just the KIT campus communication to improve communication here at KIT. And then we ideated individually pulling proven systems that work like Pure Precision and Pure Bilingual, which are both ongoing researches. And then for the X context, we encoded selectors, consent, and standard interlingua. Then for I, we interacted iteratively with rapid vibe coding cycles for deployment and UI alignment using anti-gravity and VS Code. And then for the T, we did team evaluation at several times, validating cross-cultural campus utility and user experience with the people who were listed in the beginning of the slide. The details of the pure KIT chat model, or PureKITchat or PureKit or PureKIT. This is the system architecture. It's a semantic edge to cloud relay. We have the browser client where the user inputs dialect through audio or text. And then we have another client somewhere else on the phone or on the laptop. And then there's a transaction that happens in between. There's an agent input, there's agent interpretation, and then there's a bridge agent, of course. And then there's a trust layer with pure chain pending approval where to reduce data poisoning, every contribution goes to a pending folder where the admins go in and either approve or reject. And there's a token that helps with rewarding people who contribute or with reducing their XP when they do not contribute positively. But then it's designed in an academic way where two or more people will have to validate like a peer review, a peer consensus for data to be approved or to be rejected. Then we have the raw utterance, is how it works, and then there's acoustic core and there's semantic core and there's a sociolinguistic core which preserves Saturi and other dialects, and then there's a relay core and then a trust core and then target render as well. For the numerical results, we have intentional reduction of maximum campus utility. For Pure Precision, which is an older system or the mother system, it had 8 nodes, and then active front-end games. It had 9 for Pure Polyglot and Pure Bilingual. And then PureKITchat, in order not to confuse students and for them not to be overwhelmed, we reduce the nodes to just 3 games. And then the back-end admin tabs, also for the other systems, are 8, while for the PureKITchat, it's just 4 tabs for pending, for retrieving pure chain means, for redoing rejected data, and then for taking in people's request. Then the main domain for Pure Precision is intra-English dialect research. The next one is broad multilingual Saturi mediation. And then for Pure KITchat, it's the KIT campus communication. So there was a 67% reduction in game nodes from the previous systems to the current system in order to reduce cognitive load. And then we used over 1,000 real data, audio and text, and then we simulated 480 different interactions between human and human, and then human and AI interactions. And we have 6 live demos, which are linked on YouTube, and the link is on the paper that has been uploaded. For the analysis and limits, we compared the existing system with WhatsApp 2025 upgrade, WeChat, and then Switch Lingua, which is a 2025 system as well. So the core focus for dialect and Saturi were intent. PureKITchat did a lot better. WhatsApp couldn't do that. WeChat couldn't do that. And then SwitchLingua could actually do that. Then for gamified human in the loop, crowdsourcing and fine-tuning and corrections. For pure chain audited provenance, just KITchat. So the insight is that WhatsApp and WeChat optimize for private messaging at scale. But PureKIT or PureKit helps to optimize research and communication and peer review. So the conclusion is that PureKITchat helps with human in the loop correction and peer review data generation. As a result, the byproduct of the AI bias is cured. And then PureKITchat reframes translation. It's no longer just a utility, but it helps with language, it helps with understanding, it helps in building community infrastructure, and then it generates context-aware, nuance-aware data to cure standardization bias in future LLMs. For future works, we're scaling semantic networks towards 6G campuses. It's going to be upgraded to AI RAN, and then it's going to have controlled studies. We're going to have to implement acoustic agent upgrade so that it can actually speak in people's natural fluid way of speaking, and then performance instrumentation, and there's going to be deployment to edge so that it will be a real device-to-device semantic communication. So acknowledge the systems and AI used for the project. I used anti-gravity and VS Code for rapid vibe coding. Then to research, I used Google Gemini 3.1 Pro and ChatGPT 5.5 Pro to also do like a translation when I was trying to approve or reject data that was generated through crowdsourcing games. And then I used Notebook LM to synthesize and to create a slide. And then I used YouTube to share and host the demo for the PureKITchat. So PureKITchat was developed using a fully modern vibe coding methodology, leveraging every technological advancement that I could lay my hand on, with rapid code iteration, deep cultural verification, and high fidelity research systems. Thank you.
PureKItchat PureHumcum iHuman Demo 1 iHuman Soul Dialect IECO with Nigerian Pidgin English User Browser Speech PureKItchat PureHumcum iHuman Demo 2 iHuman Egyptian Arabic IECO with AVE User Browser Speech Synthesis PureKItchat PureHumcum iHuman Demo 3 iHuman Kansai Japanese IECO with Quebec French User Browser Speech PureKItchat PureHumcum iHuman Demo 4 iHuman Awadi Hindi IECO with Levantine Arabic User Browser Speech PureKItchat PureHumcum iHuman Demo 5 iHuman Bavarian German IECO with Jeju Korean User Browser Speech PureKItchat PureHumcum Human to Human Demo 6 Human Jeju Satori and Nigerian Pidgin English both browser views are PureKItchat PureHumcum Human to Human Demo 7 Human Awadi Hindi and Levantine Arabic both browser views are shown side by side. PureKItchat PureHumcum Human to Human Demo 8 Human Bavarian German and AVE both browser views are shown side by side with PureKItchat PureHumcum Human to Human Demo 9 Human Kansai Japanese and Quebec French both browser views are shown side by side. PureKItchat PureHumcum Human to Human Demo 10 Human Igbo with Don Marks and Guy Yongsang Satori both browser views are shown